All right, this is an easy one. It looks like I got a lot of stuff out here, but I'm gonna be making a double batch, so don't worry about that. This is a lettuce wrap, so san chow bao boy. Now I'm gonna make this one with beef. You can use pork, you can use leftover chicken, you can use whatever, just a meat, or you don't even need a meat. So I'm actually gonna make two versions of this. I'm gonna make a slight vegetarian dish as well. You can do it with mushroom. So there we go, bag of mushrooms. Now, you see what we've got here. Now I am making this a little bit for a restricted diet, a gluten-free diet. So that'll have the gluten-free soy and so a little bit of gluten-free teriyaki, but if you're not, you just use regular soy and then some hoisin sauce. I've got some baby corn. You can just use regular tin corn if you want. Water chestnuts. These are regardless gluten-free or not, I like these noodles. They're a crispy fried noodle, really nice and easy. Got some carrot, got some green onion or shallots, of course lettuce, brown onion, garlic, a little bit of white pepper, don't need it if you don't want it, sesame oil, peanut oil. If you got allergies, use another oil. Use coconut oil. If you're allergic to coconut, use vegetable oil. If you're allergic to vegetable oil, use nothing and just have it stick and scrape it off the pan, easy. So most of this is very fast and it's just a bit of a prep work. So we're just gonna cut everything down really small. So we're gonna cut it down, the carrots and onions and stuff, kind of to the size of the ground beef when you cook that. So you use beef, pork, whatever. One of my personal favorites, you get barbecue pork from the Chinese butcher, that's already cooked. Yeah, you mince that up and chuck it in, it's great. So here's the ingredients, and we'll mince it up and start cooking. All right, what we got now is a big bowl full of parts. So that's all stuff we got to fry off, and we'll get that on some heat in a second. Like I said, we're going to do one that's going to be vegetarian, so we'll be left without the meat. So I'm going to do that first, and we'll do the meat separate and add it to it in later. But for now, yeah, you just make this, try to get the ratios of stuff kind of, not even 1-to-1, but you want to kind of even it out. You want the colors to look even in the pan. So. As for green, look, we're gonna have some of the green onions there, but if you want, you can use sliced up green beans or a tiny bit of broccoli or something like that. Broccoli can overpower it flavor-wise, but get it all chopped up and then and into the wok. So we're gonna get some broccoli done and a few other things, and we're gonna do the water chestnuts now. All you gotta do, these are already sliced, so and you just gotta rinse them off, same as we did the baby corn. Rinse it out of the tin so you don't get the canning water. And then just chop it. You just want to roughly chop it so that it's about the same size as the mushroom bits there too. And that way it's going to be nice. Yeah, that's your crunchiness. That adds so much crunch, it's not funny. I didn't talk about garlic. Garlic, seasoned to taste, but if you're using like single pack of meat, I would use about 4 cloves, but because we're doing a double, and some of these cloves of garlic are pretty small, I'll do double that. But yeah, garlic in this, it goes real sweet, so you don't want to hold back. And if you don't want to do this and get the tubes of garlic, that's just fine too. But we just smush this and cut it up real fine and chuck it in. There we go, that should be a nice pile of garlic. But yeah, we'll just run the knife through it real small. And put that in with the rest of the stuff. So that'll cook off with the onions and things. I don't bother cooking it by itself early. I don't want to burn it. I'd rather have it a little bit stronger, almost a little bit less cooked, if that makes sense. So it's just a bit more flavor in the garlic. So that's 2 of those tins of water chestnuts, and we just run the knife through it like that. Just cutting the big circles up. Okay, that's all of our, oh, we haven't done those yet, but that's towards the end, more garnishy, but we can, you know how to dice those. Dice some of those up. Now we're gonna get some heat on. And we'll get that fairly high. And we'll get that side one on too, because that's gonna be our vegetarian one when we get going. Okay, I got the beef in the pan. I like to get on a high heat and then I'll leave it. That way you get a nice, almost like, bit of a crispy rendering, almost a bit of a charness on one side is great. Almost gives a little bit of a barbecue-ness. I love it. Okay, so we're just gonna leave that there. And we got some smoke on the oil on there. And now we've got our big thing of veggies. And we'll get those cooking. It's gonna start to smell pretty awesome when the onions and garlic start cooking up. Okay, so that all tossed around. Now, while it's in the oil, so I don't use much seasoning now, but I'll come through with the white pepper and just put a little sprinkle on top. It's not too spicy, the white pepper, but it gives a really nice flavor. And then we'll get some, get that cooking a little, and then we'll get the sauces in, get it seasoned up. Now we're gonna make a bit of a sauce here, okay? So that is our gluten-free soy. So if you don't have to use gluten-free, that's fine. And I'm just gonna do 1, 2, 3, that should be fine. And then we're gonna add some sesame oil. You don't need a lot, but season to taste. I'll probably put maybe a teaspoon, if that. And then, so we're using organic teriyaki because this is a gluten-free sauce, but if we weren't making it for someone who's gluten-free, I'd use hoisin sauce. Use a big spoonful of hoisin, and that's also what you're going to use for your kind of your dipping plating sauce as well, the hoisin. But in our case, I couldn't get gluten-free hoisin. They do make it, but I couldn't find it in our area. So this is a gluten-free teriyaki, and that'll do just fine. So we'll add about half of what you put in soy sauce, put in either hoisin, or in this case, the teriyaki. There you go, here's the sauce. Now we're just gonna give this a little stir. Now once we add that, it's gonna get pretty sticky and it'll caramelize. We don't want it to burn. So we're gonna add it just before we're done here. How's the beef coming? Good. Get all the moisture out of there. See this bits there that are charring nicely. Okay, it's been cooking for a few minutes. Doesn't take long. Basically, you have to heat it because most of the stuff's already cooked. Really, it's just the mushrooms, and if you wanted to, you could fry them off more. So again, if you wanted it more vegetarian, add more mushrooms. Use that as your protein substitute. You can add tofu, but it might get soggy. Okay, in we got with the green onions in, and now we're going to add. Look at that, we got some good color there. Now we're going to add our sauce. Now, if you were just having it vegetarian, you are done now. You then add a bag of the crispy noodles and plate it out. But we're going to add the beef now because we're making this not vegetarian. So beef in. So we use a very lean beef, so it's not greasy. Okay, now we're going to toss that through. You can really smell that sauce when it's starting to caramelize. But there we go. Now, noodles. If you were going to plate this out right now, add the noodles and just toss them through. Otherwise, if you're going to do meal prep with this and put in the fridge, keep the noodles and put them aside and put the noodles in later. Otherwise, they're going to get all soggy, and it's nice to. I like to have them crispy. If you want soggy noodles, go for it. Put them in now. But there we go. That is your lettuce wrap done. So now, if you want to have a sauce to serve with, if you want gluten-free, we'll make one. So what we're going to do, we'll just add equal parts of the teriyaki and the soy into a pan, and we'll just reduce it down for a minute. So just put it on a light simmer, and it'll boil down. Keep it moving so it doesn't burn in the pan, but that's it. That's it, we're done. That's a quick, easy meal. Most of the time spent just chopping stuff up, and if you're not doing a double batch, it's hardly anything, so real easy to make. So as I mentioned, I can't use the hoisin because I don't have gluten-free, so I'm making a sauce for this. So what I've got in here, I've got equal parts to that gluten-free soy and that gluten-free teriyaki. And then I'm gonna get, it's gonna be for kids, so they're gonna love it, a big squirt of honey. There we go. Now, I'm gonna mix that around, and I'm just gonna have it reduce it down a bit because it's pretty thick because of the honey and that gluten-free, but we want it to be more of a spoon out dipping sauce. So you see there, it's getting pretty runny. We'll just keep it on the low heat, it'll simmer down, and we'll boil it down into a nice little reduced sauce. So let's look at lettuce. The lettuce, when choosing lettuce, that's already coming off, okay. When choosing your lettuce, like the whiter that is, the cleaner that is, the fresher the lettuce is. Now, you want to keep it cold, that'll keep it crispy, and you want to, what I like to do is I'll actually get the knife and cut around here, and that's just going to make it easier. I don't have to pull it so hard to break the leaves off. All right, so then the leaves should, they're already going to break a few, so I get 2 heads of lettuce, it makes it a lot easier. There we go, gently pull it off. Okay, now that's a huge leaf. That is going to fill up one person. So I would take that and I would cut that in half, and that way you've got 2, and it's a nice easy piece. But give that a rinse with cold water, and have it. I just put it on a plate with paper towel on it so it drains. But that's it. You just want to do that just before you serve. Otherwise, it's going to be you don't want it soggy. And that's your